Chosen one. Pause right here and listen carefully. You are not here by coincidence. Heaven has pressed pause on everything swirling around you just to deliver this word. This moment is sacred. It is the evidence that your name is known in the courts of heaven, that your story is not drifting without purpose, and that your breakthrough has already been scheduled. You are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in, because you are God's chosen one. Think about all the times you felt invisible, ignored, or unwanted. Do you know why? Because the world could never recognize what heaven placed inside of you. The enemy saw your anointing before you did. And that is why life has felt like a battlefield, from childhood pain to betrayals that cut deep. To nights when your pillow was soaked with tears, you have been under divine shaping. Every scar you carry is not a mark of defeat, but a testimony that you survived what was meant to destroy you. You are here, alive, breathing, and reading this very word, because destiny refused to let you die. Chosen one. Understand this. You are marked. Your very presence unsettled darkness. You carry light that exposes lies. And that is why the attacks have been relentless. You've questioned why so many doors slammed shut. Why people walked away. Why opportunities vanished just when you thought breakthrough was near. But hear this clearly. Heaven was protecting you from counterfeits, preparing you for the real promise. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue rising in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the Lord's servants." Do you feel it, even now? As you read, something inside your spirit begins to awaken. That heaviness that tried to keep you chained is losing power. The prophecy hidden for ages is beginning to stir in your heart. Heaven is confirming that you are about to step into a new dimension, one that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. But I must warn you, delay is dangerous. Destiny is calling, and you cannot afford to procrastinate. When heaven speaks, immediate obedience is the only safe response. Too many have missed their window because they hesitated, doubted, or allowed fear to silence their faith. That cannot be you. You have carried too much, fought through too much, to let hesitation rob you of what belongs to you. That is why I must ask you now, take action. Do not let this holy moment pass by. Like, share, and comment so that this message can reach more of God's chosen ones who desperately need to hear it. And if you have not already, subscribe, because this is only the beginning of the prophetic flow that heaven is releasing over your life. When you stay connected, you stay aligned. Beloved chosen one, the Spirit whispers this truth. Your next breakthrough is not coming. It is here. What felt like a closed season is actually the silence before the trumpet blast of your unveiling. Heaven has already written your victory. The hidden prophecy is this: you are chosen, and your life will not end in the pit. You are being raised for the palace. And now, to seal this moment, to align your spirit with the timing of heaven, I invite you to comment this prophetic number below, 77. This is not superstition, it is alignment. It is your declaration that you hear the call, that you are stepping into obedience, and that you are ready to walk in the fullness of what God has marked you for. Chosen one, you have carried more than most people around you could ever imagine. There were seasons when the weight was so heavy that you questioned if you would even survive. Nights when your tears fell silently and no one knew the battles you were facing. Days when rejection stung deeper than any physical wound, and betrayal cut through your soul like a sharp blade. Yet through all of this, you kept moving, you kept breathing, you kept holding on, even when every force around you whispered that it would be easier to let go. What others saw as weakness was actually proof of your divine resilience. The enemy wanted you broken beyond repair, but you are still here. Every setback was secretly molding you, shaping you into a vessel strong enough to hold the weight of glory that is about to pour into your life. You see, ordinary vessels cannot contain extraordinary fire. That is why you had to endure such intense pressure. It was preparation. You were being refined in the furnace of affliction, purified like gold, tested like silver. Remember how often you asked, "Why me? Why must I face this storm while others walk freely without pain?" The answer is this: because you are chosen. If your calling were ordinary, your journey would be simple, but your path is carved by heaven. And with that comes a weight that only the marked ones can carry. God trusted you with this pain because He knew it would not crush you, it would craft you. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." Chosen one. Reflect on this. Every rejection was actually redirection. Every person who walked away made space for those heaven is about to send. Every closed door was heaven's hand shielding you from counterfeit blessings that looked shiny but would have destroyed you. You thought you were losing, but in reality, you were being preserved. What you called loss was really protection. What you thought was abandonment was actually divine positioning. Think of David, forgotten by his own family, left with sheep, while his brothers stood tall before Samuel. To the eyes of men, David was unworthy, but heaven saw a king in that shepherd boy. The oil would not flow until the chosen one appeared. That is your story. You have been overlooked, dismissed, underestimated. But heaven's oil recognizes you. No one can sit in the seat that was designed for you. No voice can silence the calling written into your spirit before time began. Do not despise the weight you have carried, for it has carved a strength in you that cannot be shaken. You will walk into rooms where others crumble under pressure, but you will stand unmovable because your endurance has already been tested. You will speak words that break chains because you know what it feels like to be bound. You will carry healing for others because you have walked through your own valley of shadows and found God's hand holding you there. Beloved, the weight was never wasted. Every season of pain was prophetic training. You are being forged into a warrior who understands the cry of broken hearts, into a leader who carries not arrogance but compassion, into a vessel that has space for heaven's glory because you have been emptied of pride, fear, and dependency on man. Hold this truth close. What almost killed you actually crowned you. You did not carry this weight in vain. It was the very fire that awakened your calling and confirmed your destiny. And now, the time is coming when the burden you carried will transform into the authority you wield. Chosen one. You may not even realize the magnitude of the light you carry. From the moment you entered this world, darkness took notice. Hell has kept its eyes fixed on you because you were never ordinary. Your spirit carries a frequency that cannot be silenced. And every step you take releases a sound in the spirit realm that disrupts the plans of the enemy. Think about it. Why do you think the battles against you have been so relentless? Why have you been targeted in ways others have not? It is because your light terrifies darkness. The enemy fears what will happen once you fully awaken to your true identity. As long as you doubt yourself, he is safe. But the moment you recognize that you are chosen, the balance shifts. You become unstoppable. Beloved, your life is not just about you. Your awakening carries ripple effects. When your light shines, others trapped in darkness begin to see. When you speak, chains fall off. People who thought they would never be free. That is why the enemy has tried to silence you with fear, with shame, with rejection. He is terrified of what your voice will release. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Do you see it? Your breakthrough, your assignment, your prophecy, it cannot be cancelled. It may have felt delayed, but delay does not mean denial. The vision that heaven placed inside of you has an appointment on the calendar of eternity, and nothing in hell can erase it. Chosen one. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. Your presence carries weight. Even when you try to hide it, people are drawn to you, sometimes without even knowing why. Some admire you. Some resist you. Some even despise you, but none can ignore you. That is the mark of the chosen. You disrupt normal. You awaken what has been asleep. You shine in places that were content to stay dark. Yes, the attacks have been real. Yes, the pain has been heavy. But remember this, the size of your opposition reveals the size of your calling. If the enemy fights you harder than others, it is because your destiny threatens his kingdom more than others. He would not bother with you if you were not carrying something dangerous to him. Take comfort in that truth. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are powerful. And now, I want you to take a prophetic step. Type these 3 simple words in the comments. I choose light. Why? Because this is more than just writing it, is declaring. It is your way of standing in agreement with heaven's truth about you. When you type it, you are not only reminding yourself, you are proclaiming to the unseen realm that you are aligning with light. Not fear, not doubt, not darkness. This act is a seal, a mark that says, I know who I am, and I know whose I am. Enders, chosen one. There is authority in your agreement. Heaven moves when you align your words with its decree. Every time you declare truth, you push back lies. Every time you affirm your calling, you weaken the grip of fear. Your comment may seem small, but in the spirit, it is thunder. It is the sound of a chosen one rising, and it shakes the gates of hell. So rise boldly. Let the light you carry no longer be hidden. You are chosen for this hour, and your awakening is a weapon. Chosen one. There is a mystery hidden in your journey that even you have not fully grasped. For years, heaven has allowed you to walk through valleys and climb mountains without revealing the full picture. You wondered why. At times, life seemed unfair. You questioned why your prayers felt delayed. But now, the veil begins to lift. The hidden prophecy, sealed for generations, has been stirring in your spirit, and the hour of unveiling draws near. There are words written in eternity that concern you, words not spoken over the masses, but reserved for the chosen. These words hold the keys to your next breakthrough. They are not predictions from man, but decrees from the throne of heaven itself. What was concealed is now being revealed, because the season of silence has ended. Beloved, understand this. The prophecy over your life was never fragile. It could not be stolen, erased, or cancelled. Though you faced betrayals, failures, and even moments where you nearly gave up, the word written about you remained untouchable. Heaven never rewrote your destiny based on your struggles. Instead, every trial you endured was calculated into the prophecy, shaping you for the moment you are stepping into now. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, "Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him." Chosen one. You cannot even imagine the fullness of what is waiting for you. The breakthrough ahead is greater than your prayers, greater than your dreams, greater than the limits your mind tried to place on God's plan. Think about the times you felt hidden, almost invisible, as if no one saw your effort or your worth. That was not punishment, it was preservation. Heaven was protecting you in obscurity so that you would not be destroyed before your appointed time. Seeds must remain underground before they burst forth into harvest. Likewise, your hidden season was never wasted. It was prophetic. Consider Joseph, who carried a dream from heaven, yet found himself betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and locked in prison. To the natural eye, it seemed as though the prophecy over his life had died. But in truth, every detour was leading him closer to the throne. The pit was preparation. The prison was shaping, and in the right moment, the hidden prophecy blossomed into reality. That is what is happening with you now. The whispers of heaven have always surrounded you. Every time you almost gave up, there was a pull in your spirit that refused to let you quit. That was prophecy speaking louder than despair. Every time you faced rejection, there was still a flicker of hope burning inside. That was prophecy reminding you that your story was not over. Chosen one. The hidden prophecy declares that breakthrough is not an abstract idea, but a scheduled reality. It is written that the doors you need will open, the chains you carry will break, the opportunities assigned to you will appear. This is not wishful thinking. It is alignment with what has already been decreed. The enemy has tried to convince you that your delay meant denial, that your mistakes disqualified you, that your past was too broken for a glorious future. But those were lies designed to blind you to the truth. The prophecy did not require perfection, it required perseverance. And you, beloved, have endured. You did not quit. That alone has positioned you for the unveiling. Hold this in your spirit. The word written about you cannot fail. Heaven has watched over it from the beginning. And now, the appointed time is near. The prophecy is awakening, and your breakthrough will not tarry. Chosen one. There is a reason you feel the urgency stirring inside you right now. Heaven does not release words lightly. When a prophetic call comes forth, it is because the appointed time is at hand. This is not a season for hesitation, not a time for delay. What heaven is speaking to you in this moment carries weight, and obedience is the only right response. You have waited long enough. You have prayed, cried, and endured nights of silence. But now, the trumpet of destiny is sounding. The hidden prophecy that has been reserved for your life is unlocking before your very eyes. What was once only promised is shifting into manifestation. Yet the key to walking through this open door lies not only in faith, but also in action. Beloved, obedience often begins with small steps. It may seem insignificant, but each act of agreement aligns you closer with what heaven has written. When Noah built the ark, he did not see rain. When Abraham stepped out, he did not see the land. When Peter cast his net again, he had already failed all night. Each of them moved in obedience without full clarity, and each of them saw the miraculous because they trusted the voice that called them. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. You are standing at a divine crossroads, and your choice matters. Every decision you make in this season carries ripple effects, not just for you, but for generations after you. This is why your alignment is critical. That is why you must not only hear this message, but also respond to it. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not just clicking buttons, you are helping heaven's message reach others who are wandering in darkness, desperately needing the same reminder you are receiving now. Your small act becomes a seed of obedience that multiplies into harvest in someone else's life. I say this sincerely. You are not meant to walk this journey alone. You are part of a remnant, a community of chosen ones being awakened together. When you connect, you grow stronger. When you share, you extend the reach of heaven's voice. When you subscribe, you anchor yourself in a flow of continual reminders that keep your spirit aligned with truth. These are not just digital actions, they are prophetic acts of agreement. Subtle, yet powerful. Beloved, don't underestimate the importance of this moment. Every time you delay obedience, you give space for doubt to creep in. But every time you act in faith, you silence the lies of the enemy. This is not about boosting numbers, it is about multiplying light in a world drowning in darkness. It is about standing in your assignment as a torchbearer who helps ignite others. So take this moment seriously. Obey the call of heaven with both your heart and your hands. Like this word, because it affirms agreement, share it. Because someone you know is one step away from giving up, and your obedience could deliver the word they need. Subscribe, not as a routine habit, but as a prophetic declaration that you will remain aligned, attentive, and connected to the flow of destiny. Chosen one. The time is now. The prophecy has been unlocked. The breakthrough is near. And your response is the key that turns the lock. Align with heaven. Step boldly. Do not let hesitation rob you of the blessing that is already written. Chosen one. Listen with your spirit wide open. Heaven has a way of speaking not only through words, but also through signs and patterns. There are codes written in eternity, numbers that carry prophetic weight. These numbers are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you are aligned with heaven's timing. When they appear, it is as though God Himself is highlighting your name, saying, "Yes, this is the moment. Yes, I am speaking to you." Perhaps you have seen repeated numbers appear in your daily life, in clocks, in receipts, in unexpected places. These are not random, they are reminders. Heaven is calling your attention to its language of confirmation. And right now, as you read these words, that language is being made clear according to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Beloved, your plans have shifted many times. You thought you were walking one direction, only to find yourself in another. You wondered if you had failed, if you had missed your chance. But the truth is this, even when you didn't see it, the Lord was directing every step. The numbers that appear before you are a whisper from heaven, confirming that you are exactly where you need to be. Chosen one. The enemy wants you to doubt these signs. He wants you to believe that what you see is meaningless. But heaven is strategic. Every detail matters. Every sign is intentional. These prophetic numbers serve as markers on your journey, reminding you that you are walking a path that was written before time began. And now, I invite you to respond in faith. Comment this prophetic number, 555. Why 555? Because it symbolizes grace multiplied, transformation, and the fullness of divine favor. When you type it, you are not only agreeing with heaven, you are declaring that your life is entering a season of change, that grace is surrounding you on every side, and that God's hand is rewriting your story for good. This is not superstition, it is alignment. It is your spirit saying yes to the transformation heaven is releasing into your path. Think of what happens when you respond. You shift from being a passive listener to an active participant. You move from hearing about prophecy to declaring it over your own life. That one small action is a seed of obedience that heaven can multiply. When you comment 555, you are testifying that you are no longer stuck in cycles of delay. You are moving into divine acceleration. Beloved, every chosen one must learn to recognize heaven's signs. Noah saw a rainbow and knew the flood had ended. Gideon asked for a fleece and received confirmation. Daniel interpreted numbers on the wall that shifted kingdoms. Signs and numbers are part of heaven's vocabulary, and you are now being trained to read them with spiritual eyes. So, let your obedience seal this moment. Do not just nod silently in agreement, mark it, declare it, stand boldly, and type 555, because in doing so, you are stepping into divine favor. You are proclaiming that no matter what challenges surround you, heaven's grace is multiplying over your life. Your steps are steady, and your destiny is secured. Chosen one. This is your alignment hour. Heaven is speaking clearly. Respond, and let your declaration echo in eternity. Chosen one. You must know this truth. You were not placed on this earth merely to survive storms. You were placed here to overcome them. There is a vast difference between surviving and overcoming. Survival means you barely made it through, carrying scars and exhaustion. Overcoming means you rise above the storm, carrying authority, strength, and testimony. You are not called to crawl through life as a victim of circumstance. You are called to walk as a conqueror who carries victory into every environment you step into. Beloved, reflect on your past for a moment. How many times did you think you would not make it? How many nights did despair whisper that you would not see the morning? Yet here you are. Survival was not an accident, it was prophecy in motion. Every trial you endured was not just something you escaped. It was something you mastered. You came out stronger, wiser, and sharper in spirit. What nearly killed you actually equipped you. What should have destroyed you turned into your training ground. The Apostle Paul wrote of this mystery in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 37. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Notice the words, more than conquerors. This is not ordinary survival. This is not escaping barely alive. This is walking in the authority of one who cannot be defeated. That, beloved, is your identity. Look at the way lions move. They do not hurry. They do not tremble. Even when surrounded by enemies, their presence demands respect. That is the spirit being awakened within you. You carry an atmosphere of victory that causes darkness to retreat before you speak a single word. You do not beg for survival. You command territory as an heir of heaven. Chosen one. Remember the valley you walked through. You thought you were drowning, yet you discovered that the waters could not consume you. That was no coincidence. It was the hand of God proving to you that survival is your testimony, but overcoming is your destiny. Survival was only stage one. Overcoming is where you are headed now. Think about David again. The boy with a sling was not trained in a palace, but in fields and caves. He survived lions and bears. But he overcame Goliath. His survival equipped him. His overcoming established him. Your story mirrors this pattern. The struggles you survived prepared you for the giants you are now about to slay. There is also a deeper truth. Your victories are not only for you, they are assignments. When you overcome, you create pathways for others. Someone else bound in chains will look at you and realize freedom is possible. Someone else buried in despair will see your light and find courage. Your overcoming becomes their hope. This is why you cannot quit. This is why your testimony matters. Beloved, you are stepping into a shift. You will notice how old cycles lose their grip. The patterns that once trapped you will break under your feet. The lies that once silenced you will have no power. You will not only walk free, you will lead others to freedom. The fire that tried to consume you will become the very light you carry to ignite others. This is your season to move from survivor to overcomer, to no longer measure success by making it through, but by conquering, by claiming territory, by declaring boldly, I am more than a conqueror. Your scars are no longer symbols of pain, they are emblems of victory. Each one is proof that you were in the fire, but the fire could not destroy you. Hold your head high. Chosen one, you are not weak, not broken, not defeated. You are rising as one who carries the authority of heaven. Survival was your beginning, but overcoming is your destiny. Step into it now with the unshakable confidence of one who knows the battle is already won. Chosen one, let us linger on a sobering truth. Grace is a gift, but it is not without boundaries. Too often, people mistake mercy as permission to wander endlessly. They believe they can delay forever, rebel without consequence, and return whenever they please. But you, beloved, must hear this with clarity. Mercy is powerful, but it will not always linger. The door of grace is open wide for you now, yet it is not a door that remains open forever. Think of the countless times you drifted away, and yet something pulled you back. That was mercy. Consider the mistakes that should have ruined your future, but somehow you were spared. That was mercy. Reflect on the moments you could have been lost. broken beyond repair. Yet you found yourself still standing. That was mercy. And right now, the very fact that you are reading these words is further proof that mercy has not abandoned you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 103, verse 8. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. This is why you are still here. God's hand has held back judgment, giving you time to rise, to repent, to awaken, to align. His patience has been your lifeline. But, chosen one, do not take this lightly. Mercy does not mean endless delay. Grace is extended so you may walk into obedience, not so you can remain stagnant. There is a moment when mercy steps back, when hardened hearts blind themselves, when the whisper of the Spirit grows faint. That is not where you are yet. But it is a warning you must heed. Every act of rebellion, every refusal to obey, brings you closer to that cliff. This is why your conviction matters so much. The fact that you feel a stirring, the fact that these words pierce you, the fact that something inside refuses to let you ignore this. This is proof that God's Spirit has not abandoned you. Conviction is not punishment. It is a gift. It is heaven reminding you, the door is still open. Come through while you can. Look at the story of Noah. For 120 years, he built the ark while people mocked. The door stood open. Anyone could have entered. Yet when the rain fell and the floods came, it was too late. The door was shut by the hand of God himself. Mercy Helingal, but mercy eventually stepped back. The open invitation had expired. Beloved, I must be clear with you. You are standing in a critical season. Your heart is being awakened, not by coincidence, but because heaven is signaling urgency. The mercy extended to you now is an invitation to step into alignment before the door closes. This is why your obedience matters more than ever before. Understand this. God does not convict you to shame you. He convicts you to save you. He does not stir your heart to break you. He stirs your heart to heal you. He does not call you out to condemn you. He calls you out to crown you. That is the mercy you are experiencing now. Chosen one, honor this gift. Do not silence the voice that still whispers to you. Do not numb yourself with distractions. Do not convince yourself you can wait another year, another season, another lifetime. Mercy is extended now so that breakthrough can meet you now. Grace is holding the door, but your obedience is what will carry you through it. The weight you feel is not a burden, it is an invitation. The conviction you sense is not rejection, it is proof of love. The urgency you cannot ignore is not fear, it is heaven pulling you closer. Mercy still holds the door open for you. Step forward before it closes. Chosen one. There is a crown with your name engraved on it. Not a crown of earthly gold that fades. Not a crown that rusts or tarnishes, but a crown forged in heaven, prepared long before you even breathed your first breath. It is waiting for you, not in the distance of eternity alone, but in the unfolding of your destiny here and now. Every act of obedience polishes it. Every moment of surrender strengthens its weight. Every step you take in alignment brings it closer to resting upon your head. But here is the truth you must understand. Crowns are not given to the rebellious. They are given to the surrendered. You cannot carry both pride and promise, both rebellion and reward. Heaven honors obedience. Heaven crowns the faithful. And beloved, That is what you are being called into now. It was proclaimed in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown. This crown is not reserved for the few. It is the inheritance of all who remain faithful, who refuse to abandon their calling, who press forward even when storms surround them. Think of the times you nearly walked away, the nights you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," the moments you felt forgotten, invisible, unworthy, yet here you are, still standing. Why? Because destiny would not let you quit, because the Spirit of God kept pulling you back, because the crown has always been waiting for you. Every tear you shed in silence, every sacrifice you made that no one noticed, every time you chose faith when fear was easier, that was polishing your crown. Heaven recorded it all. Not one act of obedience was wasted. Not one moment of faith was ignored. What you thought, no one saw. Heaven has written down, but chosen one. I must be clear, the danger is real. Crowns can be forfeited. Promises can be delayed. Not because heaven forgets, but because disobedience can push away what was already prepared. Remember Saul, chosen and anointed, but who lost his crown because of rebellion. Remember Judas, who walked beside Jesus, yet abandoned his place. These stories are not written to scare you, but to awaken you. Your crown is real, but your choices matter. Beloved, the Spirit is stirring you now, not to shame you, but to call you higher, to remind you that your destiny is not casual. Your life is not common, and your obedience carries eternal weight. You are not running for temporary rewards. You are running for a crown that will outlast time itself. And this is why I want you to take a prophetic step of agreement. Type these simple words in the comments. I choose my crown. Just 4 words, but filled with eternal meaning. Why? Because in declaring them, you are not just typing letters, you are sealing your choice. You are standing boldly before heaven and earth, saying, I will not let rebellion steal my inheritance. I will not let fear silence my obedience. I will not trade my crown for comfort. This act is more than symbolic. It is prophetic. It is your spirit declaring alignment. It is your heart saying yes to surrender. It is your life proclaiming that you will walk faithfully until the crown rests upon your head. Chosen one, do not hesitate. Speak it, declare it, seal it, for your crown is closer than you think, and your obedience today polishes the glory you will wear tomorrow. Chosen one, prophecy is never given without purpose. When heaven whispers a word over your life, it is not simply to encourage you, it is to prepare you. Too many have heard divine promises, but failed to position themselves for fulfillment. They assumed breakthrough would arrive without discipline, without readiness, without obedience. But hear this: prophecy demands preparation. What God has promised you requires you to align every part of your being, your body, your mind, and your spirit for the elevation that is coming. Think of the farmer. He receives the promise of harvest, but he does not sit idly waiting. He plows the soil, plants the seed, waters the ground, and guards against weeds. In the same way, you must prepare your life for what heaven has spoken. Your breakthrough will not land on barren ground. It will flourish where discipline has made room for it. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, Verse 25. Everyone who strives for mastery is temperate in all things. They seek a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Discipline is not bondage. It is proof that you value the crown awaiting you. Those who desire victory without preparation will stumble under the weight of their own blessing. But you, beloved, are being prepared so that when the breakthrough comes, you will be able to carry it with strength. Chosen one. Your preparation involves more than action. It begins with mindset. You must cast down the lies that whisper, "You are not enough." The doubts that say, "Your past disqualifies you." The fears that chain you to delay. Renew your mind daily with the truth that you are chosen, anointed, and equipped. Guard your thoughts. Because what you allow to live in, your mind will shape the path beneath your feet. Preparation also touches your heart. Bitterness, unforgiveness, and hidden wounds cannot walk with you into the next season. You must release what hurt you, not because it deserved forgiveness, but because your future deserves freedom. Your heart must be light enough to carry the weight of glory, not chained by the heaviness of old offenses. And yes, preparation involves your hands. What has God entrusted to you today? Are you stewarding it well? Faithful in the small, diligent in what seems unseen? Heaven watches. The way you handle the present is the training ground for the weight of tomorrow. Breakthrough is not only a blessing, it is also a responsibility. If you cannot manage little, how can you hold much, beloved? This is why staying connected matters. You cannot walk this path in isolation. You need reminders, encouragement, and alignment. That is why I urge you, take a moment to like this message, to share it with others who are waiting for their own prophetic word, and to subscribe so you remain anchored to this flow of revelation. These are not empty actions, they are steps of agreement, small acts of obedience that say, "I am serious about preparing for my promise." Understand. When you share, you become a vessel for someone else's awakening. When you like, you affirm the truth released into your own spirit. When you subscribe, you tether yourself to a stream of words designed to sharpen and strengthen you for what lies ahead. Do not treat these as casual. They are prophetic alignments, and heaven honors even the smallest seed of faith. Chosen one. Prophecy has already declared your breakthrough. Now, your preparation must match your promise. Walk with discipline. Guard your heart. Renew your mind. And steward your hands. Do not grow weary. Do not despise small beginnings. For when the heavens open, you will be ready not only to receive your breakthrough, but to carry it with strength, with wisdom, and with the glory that marks you as chosen one. What you feel in your life is not just circumstance, it is warfare. The heaviness that presses against you, the sudden resistance, the unexpected chaos. These are not random events. They are signs of a spiritual battle that rages because of who you are and what you carry. You must see with spiritual eyes. The intensity of your struggle is evidence of the magnitude of your assignment. Hell does not waste resources on those who pose no threat. The fact that you have been targeted so fiercely is proof that your awakening terrifies the enemy. He knows that if you rise fully into your calling, you will unlock victories not only for yourself, but for countless others connected to you. He trembles at the thought of you, realizing that your obedience has generational impact. The prophet Elijah once stood on Mount Carmel against hundreds of false prophets. To the natural eye, he looked outnumbered. Yet in reality, heaven's armies were with him. And one man surrendered to God outweighed an entire nation in rebellion. That is your reality as well. Though darkness surrounds you, you are never alone. Though you may feel outnumbered, heaven's host stands at your side. The Word of God declares in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Your battle is not against people. It is not against the ones who rejected you or the circumstances that resisted you. It is against unseen forces that recognize your light and fear what you carry. Chosen one. Do not underestimate the authority you hold. The moment you surrendered to God, your life became a weapon. Your prayers disrupt darkness. Your worship shakes strongholds. Your obedience pierces the enemy's plans. You may feel weak at times, but your weakness is filled with divine strength. Even your sighs in prayer are louder in the spirit than the shouts of the enemy. Understand this: the battlefield is not only around you, it is also within you. The enemy seeks to sow fear, doubt, and discouragement in your mind. If he can convince you that you are powerless, he does not need to fight your actions. This is why you must guard your thoughts. Saturate yourself with truth and refuse to let lies define your reality. Your mind is a gate, and you must keep it aligned with heaven. Beloved, remember the battles you have already endured, the seasons when you thought you would not survive. Yet here you are. Every fight you faced has only sharpened your spirit. Every victory you carry is proof that darkness could not silence you. You are not a beginner in this war. You are seasoned, scarred, and stronger than you realize. Do not fear the battle. Fear is a lie. If the enemy could have destroyed you, he would have done it already. The fact that you are still standing is proof that heaven's hand surrounds you. And not only are you standing, you are advancing. Every step you take in obedience pushes back the darkness. Every breath you release in prayer strengthens the ranks of heaven. Chosen one. The war is real, but so is your victory. The fight is fierce, but so is your light. You are not losing, you are being forged. You are not abandoned, you are accompanied by angels. And the very forces that tried to destroy you will become the backdrop for the glory that will reveal you. Chosen one. Your life is not a forgotten story. It is written, recorded, and remembered in heaven's scrolls. Every step you take, every tear you shed, every act of obedience, none of it vanishes into the air. It is all carved into eternity. You are not wandering in shadows unnoticed. Your name is written in fire before the throne of God. There is a mystery in this, the book of remembrance. It is where heaven records the faithfulness of those who fear the Lord. The moments when you chose him, even when no one else saw, when you forgave instead of striking back, when you prayed through the night though your body was weary, when you remained faithful though your heart was breaking. Heaven remembers. Nothing was wasted. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "Thou tellest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? Do you see it? Even your tears are not forgotten. The pain you thought was invisible is preserved before God. He does not overlook you, He treasures even the brokenness you carried. Chosen one, there is a weight on your name. In the unseen, the enemy trembles because he knows that the one who formed you has already secured your future. Your name shines in the fire of remembrance, and prophetic confirmation follows you like a shadow. That is why certain numbers, certain patterns, have appeared before your eyes. They are signs written in the language of eternity, reminders that you are known and marked. And now, heaven calls for your response. Comment this prophetic number, 888. Why 888? Because it signifies new beginnings, multiplied, resurrection life, and the overflow of God's promise. When you type it, you are not playing with digits. You are declaring alignment with heaven's script over your life. You are saying, I believe my name is remembered. I believe my story is recorded. I believe new beginnings are written for me. Think about the power of this. Many live their lives trying desperately to be remembered by people seeking validation, applause, recognition. Yet human memory fades. Names are forgotten, and applause grows silent. But when heaven remembers you, no force on earth or in hell can erase it. That remembrance becomes your shield, your confirmation, your prophetic inheritance. Your response in this moment is more than a comment. It is an act of faith that declares, I align with what is already written. It is you saying yes to the script heaven has carved in fire. The number 888 is your reminder that nothing is over, that resurrection power hovers over your life, and that the story heaven remembers is not finished. Beloved, the world may have overlooked you, but heaven has not. Friends may have forgotten you, but heaven has not. People may have dismissed your value, but heaven has not. You are recorded. You are remembered. You are marked. And when you seal this moment with obedience, you confirm that you are in agreement with the remembrance written in eternity. Chosen one. Type 888 boldly. Declare it with faith. Let it echo beyond the digital world into the spirit realm as a testimony that you know your name is written in fire, and your future is secure in the remembrance of heaven. Chosen one. Many of the wounds you carry have confused you. You looked at the pain in your past and wondered if it meant you were cursed, forgotten, or unworthy of love. You questioned why certain storms seemed to chase you, while others walked freely without such battles. Yet now, the Spirit is unveiling a truth that will change how you see everything. Your pain was prophetic. What tried to break you was pointing you to your assignment. The very struggles you endured were shaping the authority you now carry. The betrayal you faced taught you to discern hearts. The loneliness you endured trained you to hear God's whisper in silence. The loss you suffered deepened your compassion for the broken. None of it was wasted. Every fragment of your pain became a fragment of your preparation. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 20, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. This is the promise that transforms pain into prophecy. What once made you weep will one day make you shine. The sorrow that crushed you is destined to become the platform for your greatest testimony. Think about Joseph again. Sold by his brothers, thrown into a pit, locked in prison. At every step, His pain deepened, but hidden in that pain was the prophecy of a palace. Each wound was necessary because each wound aligned him closer to his purpose. Without betrayal, there would have been no throne. Without the pit, there would have been no prophetic fulfillment. So too with you. Beloved, when you were misunderstood, heaven was teaching you endurance. When you were rejected, heaven was proving that your worth was not tied to man's opinion. When doors slammed in your face, heaven was steering you toward the one door that would never close. All of it, every moment, was a divine setup. Chosen one, the scars you carry are not marks of failure, but evidence of survival. More than that, they are evidence of destiny. A soldier without scars has never fought in real battles, but your scars prove you stood on real battlefields, and you did not fall. Those wounds are heaven's testimony written upon your skin. Do not despise the pain. Do not resent the process. Begin to see it as prophecy, because that pain birthed wisdom, strength, and clarity within you that no easy road could have given. You were being stretched, sharpened, and refined. Just as diamonds are formed under crushing pressure, your brilliance has emerged through crushing seasons. Beloved, your story is not one of defeat, but of transformation. You were never abandoned. Even in the darkest hours, the presence of God was with you, guiding, shaping, sustaining. You did not see it then, but looking back, you will realize the fingerprints of heaven were all over your trials. Hold this close. Your pain was a prophecy of the impact you are called to release. Others will be healed by your testimony. Chains will break when they hear how you survived. Light will shine because you carried it through your darkest night. The very thing the enemy thought would destroy you has become the key that unlocks freedom for others. Chosen one, embrace this revelation. Your pain was prophetic. It was never wasted. It has always been the hand of God shaping you for such a time as this. Chosen one, your story is not only about you. What heaven has been doing in your life reaches far beyond your personal journey. The victories you will walk in are not merely for your comfort or success. They are seeds planted for generations yet to come. Your obedience today is building bridges that your children and your children's children will walk across. You are marked not only for your own breakthrough, but for generational impact. Think about this deeply. Cycles of brokenness often run through families. Patterns of addiction, poverty, fear, or rejection seem to repeat again and again. But when God chooses a vessel, He raises them as a breaker of cycles. That vessel stands in the gap, declaring, "The pattern ends with me." Beloved, you are that vessel. The very struggles that haunted your bloodline are being confronted through you. The very chains that bound those before you are snapping under your obedience, according to what is revealed in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 6. "And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments." This is the power of generational blessing. While sin can ripple through generations, obedience multiplies mercy for thousands. Your faith today is building a foundation that your descendants will inherit. Consider Abraham. His obedience to leave his homeland set the course for a nation yet unborn. Consider Hannah. Her prayer for a son birthed Samuel, who would anoint kings. Consider Ruth. Her faithfulness in hardship placed her in the lineage of Christ himself. None of them lived for themselves alone. Their decisions shaped history. And in the same way, your choices today are rewriting destiny for those who will follow after you. Chosen one, do not underestimate the weight of your obedience. Every time you choose to forgive instead of hate, you are planting seeds of mercy for your bloodline. Every time you walk in purity when temptation calls, you are breaking chains of bondage that would have pursued your descendants. Every time you pray instead of quitting, you are writing a legacy of faith that will echo long after you are gone. There are generations who will thank you, though they never meet you. They will live free because you chose to break free. They will walk in blessings because you chose to say yes to God. They will stand in light because you refused to bow to darkness. Your name may not appear in their lips, but your obedience will shape their lives. Beloved, this is why your battles have been so fierce. The enemy is not only fighting you, he is fighting the generations you will impact. He fears the ripple effect of your yes. He trembles at the thought that your children will grow up in the atmosphere of faith you are creating. He knows that your obedience will multiply like a river, flowing into the lives of many you will never see with your eyes. Hold fast. Chosen one, every step you take in surrender is rewriting your family's story. Where there was brokenness, there will be wholeness. Where there was fear, there will be courage. Where there was lack, there will be abundance. Where there was silence, there will be prophetic voices. The seeds you plant now will bloom long after you have stepped into glory. This is your generational assignment, to be the one who shifts the story, the one who breaks the curse, the one who plants blessings that ripple into eternity. Stand firm, for you are not just chosen for yourself, you are chosen for generations. Chosen one, hear this with clarity. You were never meant to walk this journey alone. The weight you carry, the battles you face, and the calling on your life are part of a much bigger picture. You are not an isolated flame. You are part of a blazing army, a remnant rising in this generation. Heaven has marked not just you, but a community of chosen ones who are awakening together. There is something powerful about connection. When one chosen one rises, they ignite others. When one voice declares truth, others find courage to speak. When one light shines, darkness trembles. But when many gather together, united in faith and obedience, entire territories shift. That is why the enemy has tried so hard to isolate you, to make you feel forgotten, rejected, or alone. He knows that once you realize you are part of an army, his schemes will crumble. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24 to 25, "Let us consider one another, to stir up love and good works. Do not forsake assembling, but exhort one another, as the day approaches." This is the command and the encouragement. Chosen ones are stronger together. Beloved, imagine the strength that rises when you align yourself with a community of others walking the same path. Your testimony strengthens their faith. Their prayers cover your battles. Your light shines brighter when it joins theirs. You are not meant to be a lone warrior. You are part of heaven's army. And this is why I want to speak plainly to you. Take action. Do not just receive this word silently. Step into the community heaven is gathering. When you like this message, you are declaring, "I agree with this truth." When you share it, you are igniting another chosen one who might be on the brink of giving up. When you comment, you are not only sealing the word in your own spirit, but also speaking life into someone else scrolling by, reminding them they are not alone. And when you subscribe, you anchor yourself to this continual stream of prophetic reminders that keep you aligned, encouraged, and sharpened. This is not about numbers, it is about alignment. Every click, every share, every word of engagement is a ripple in the spirit realm. Darkness thrives in silence. But when chosen ones speak, respond, and connect, chains break. What feels like a small action in the natural becomes a massive shift in the supernatural. Think of the early church. They did not grow strong because of isolated faith. They grew because they gathered, shared, encouraged, and stood together in the face of persecution. That same principle is alive now. Heaven is raising up a remnant who will not bow to fear, who will not be silenced, who will not hide. You are part of that remnant, and your voice, your agreement, your presence matters. Chosen one, do not underestimate this moment. Take it seriously. Like this message, not for vanity, but as an act of agreement. Share it not for reach, but as a weapon to awaken another. Comment, not out of routine, but as a prophetic declaration that you are rising with the remnant. Subscribe not for habit, but for alignment with the flow of words that sharpen your spirit. You are not alone. You are part of a divine fellowship of marked ones, each carrying light, each carrying fire, each carrying authority. Together, you are unstoppable. Together, you are heaven's army. And together, you will see prophecy fulfilled, not just in your life, but in the lives of countless others, awakened by your obedience. Chosen one, there comes a time when prophecy no longer lingers, only as a word whispered in prayer or written in sacred scrolls. There comes a moment when the unseen becomes seen, when the promise takes on flesh, when what was declared long ago begins to manifest right before your eyes. That moment is approaching for you now. For too long, it has felt like you were clinging only to hope. You heard the promises. You believed the visions. But your reality looked far from them. You wrestled with the tension of waiting, believing one thing, but seeing another. That tension has been your wilderness. The in-between space where faith was tested and character was formed. Yet, beloved, wilderness seasons do not last forever. Every desert leads to rivers. Every night ends in morning. And every prophecy has an appointed fulfillment. The Word of God declares in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is for an appointed time. At the end it will speak. It will not lie. Though it tarry, wait, it will surely come." This is your assurance. What was spoken over you will not remain in delay. Heaven has scheduled its manifestation, and nothing in earth or hell can cancel it. Chosen one, understand that prophecy becoming flesh does not mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means that the doors once locked will swing open. It means that opportunities aligned with your destiny will begin to appear. It means that what was once hidden will be revealed, and the favor of God will become tangible. Yet it also means you must be prepared, for blessings carry weight and responsibilities. Think of Sarah, who laughed at the promise of a child, yet held Isaac in her arms at the appointed time. Think of Simeon, who waited his whole life for the consolation of Israel, and finally held the Messiah as a baby in his arms. Think of Mary, overshadowed by the Spirit, who carried prophecy within her womb until it became flesh and lived among men. Each story proves this truth. When the prophecy manifests, it is undeniable, and it changes everything. Beloved, there are doors you thought were permanently closed that heaven is about to open. There are prayers you prayed years ago, forgotten by your lips, but not forgotten by God, that are about to be answered. There are promises written over your bloodline that will finally burst forth in your life. The time of only hearing is shifting into the time of seeing. This is why you had to wait. This is why the process seemed long. If the prophecy had manifested too soon, you would not have been ready to carry it. If it had come without delay, it would have crushed you instead of lifting you. Heaven was never withholding, it was preparing. Every delay was shaping the vessel. Every trial was strengthening the foundation. Every silence was maturing your faith. And now, the foundation is strong enough to hold what is coming. Chosen one. Prophecy becoming flesh is not only about blessings falling into your hands, it is about transformation flowing through your life. When others see what God has done for you, they will know that no man could have orchestrated it. Your story will be undeniable proof of divine intervention. You will not need to convince anyone. The evidence will speak louder than words. Hold your head high, for your waiting was not in vain. The time of manifestation is near. The prophecy is no longer just a whisper, it is stepping into reality. And when it comes, it will come with such clarity, such power, and such grace that you will know, without a doubt, this is the fulfillment I have been prepared for all along. Chosen one. The journey has brought you here, not to the end, but to the unveiling. You stand on the threshold of a future already secured, a destiny already written, a crown already forged. The path behind you has been marked with scars, with victories, with lessons, and with whispers of prophecy. The path before you shines with glory, for you are stepping into what heaven has prepared since the beginning. You have been refined in the fire. You have walked through valleys where shadows pressed close. You have endured nights where silence screamed louder than words. And yet, none of it was wasted. Each moment carved strength into your spirit. Each storm etched wisdom into your soul. Each battle awakened authority that could not be gained any other way. You are not who you once were. You are risen, transformed, crowned. The Apostle Peter declares in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 10, "But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you." And, beloved, understand this. You are unstoppable not because life is easy, but because the hand of God rests upon you. You are unshakable not because storms avoid you, but because your roots have grown deep in the soil of divine purpose. You are unbreakable not because you are invincible, but because you are held by the one who cannot fail. This is the glory that crowns you. Think of how far you have come. What once made you tremble now bows beneath your feet. What once silenced your voice now amplifies your testimony. What once threatened your existence has become proof of your endurance. You are no longer the one overlooked, rejected, or forgotten. You are the one marked, revealed, and crowned with the weight of glory. And this crown is not only for display, it is for destiny. It is the mark of authority that heaven places on those who remain faithful. It is the signal that you are commissioned, not just comforted. Your life now becomes a torch, a blazing witness to others that God is still faithful, that prophecy still speaks, that breakthrough is still possible. Chosen one, step forward boldly. Do not shrink back into shadows of doubt. Do not return to chains that once held you. Do not listen to voices that try to reduce you to who you used to be. You are crowned in glory. You are walking in destiny. You are unstoppable forever. And when the days ahead bring challenges, as they surely will, remember the story written over you. Remember that your pain was prophetic. Your trials were preparation. Your delays were divine training. Remember that your crown is not fragile, it is forged in fire. Remember that heaven itself testifies of you, chosen, sealed, unstoppable. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of a new beginning. Step into it with courage. Walk in it with faith. Carry it with humility. For you, chosen one, are crowned in glory, and nothing can take that away. Chosen one. As this journey of words comes to its close, let your spirit rest in the assurance of all that has been spoken. You are not like the rest. You are not here by accident. You have been carried through valleys, refined in fire, and prepared for this exact moment. Every prophecy released over you is not empty, it is alive. It is active, and it is awakening within you, even now. Pause and breathe this truth. You are chosen, not chosen in weakness, but chosen in power. Not chosen in obscurity, but chosen for unveiling. Not chosen for survival, but chosen for victory. This is your inheritance, sealed not by man, but by heaven itself. Carry this fire forward. Let it mark your steps, fuel your prayers, and strengthen your resolve. Remember that your story is not just for you, it is for those who will see your light and find their way. You are a torchbearer, a breaker of chains, a vessel of glory. And when doubts rise again, when battles come, when silence lingers, return to these words. They are reminders, anchors, confirmations that you are not forgotten, not abandoned, not overlooked. You are God's chosen one, and the story written about you is unstoppable. Rise now into the fullness of your destiny, crowned, marked, remembered forever.